Like it or not, the future of crypto is to have many different blockchains and projects specifically dedicated to connecting these different blockchains. No matter if you like layer 1 or layer 2 solutions, these type of projects that connect all the ecosystem of crypto will be one of the biggest winners in the long term. And in this video, I want to look into one of those projects. It's called Synapse, and as usual, we're going to look at the good, the bad, the very ugly, and I'm going to tell you what is my price prediction and the price potential for this token in the next crypto bull run. Very simply put, Synapse has two main functions. The first one is for the end users, and basically this is bridging assets across different blockchains, swapping tokens similar to what Uniswap can do, and also staking assets for certain amounts of returns. And the second function that Synapse has is to offer developers a platform where they can build decentralized applications that can operate on different networks. And I think in the long term, this will be very powerful. But for me at this moment as an end user, the first application, I think it's very significant, and mainly because what we are seeing is a boom in L1 from the last cycle and also currently L2 solutions for Ethereum. And I think in the long term, we're gonna see a lot more projects like this that offer the possibility to bridge assets across different chains, and also for developers obviously to build such kind of applications that for the end user it won't even matter on which blockchain the project is built. At a first glance, there's a lot to like about Synapse, and let me show you some of my favorite features of the platform. First, if we go to the bridge, you'll see that we have a wide variety of L1 and L2 that we can bridge. Even Aurora, Boba Network is a not so known layer 2 solution. Canto is one they just recently added, and this is one that I really like, that they constantly add new layer 1s that you can bridge over. And they have even Doge Chain and Phantom Harmony, you know, some of the old dogs. Even Terra is right here. And actually Canto is another project that I'm very interested in. Synapse just added the capability, and as you can see here, as of last month, they were already doing like 20 million volume on the bridge. So if you want to know more about Canto, make sure to subscribe. I'm definitely gonna do a review of this token too. But when it comes to bridging assets, the experience is very easy, very seamless. You have everything that you need right here, and I think for the end user that's very important. And I believe their interface is more than enough to compete with one of the best bridges out there, like Stargate Finance, for example. Another big competitor that they will have in the future is also Hashflow. I have already done a review of this token, but here on CoinMarketCap you can very easily see one of the main competitors of Synapse, and one of the reasons I really like it, it's because it's a new project compared to Quant or Atom or ICP. All of these had already have a cycle. And if you have followed this channel for a while, you know that I really like tokens that are fresh out of the oven and haven't had a big cycle and don't have a big amount of back holders. And I think Synapse is one of the front runners in this space to really go up if we get into a bull cycle. And one of the main reasons also for this is that it has relatively good exchange diversification. You can see here Coinbase has a lot of the volume together with SushiSwap, but also Kraken is up there, Gate.io, BitGets, but weirdly enough, Binance is not here. I don't know what's the reason for Binance not listing this coin. There might be some issues with the owners and they don't like CZ or whatever, or it might be just a matter of time. And if Binance also lists this coin, I think it will be great potential to bring an additional amount of liquidity, because you can see here that the market cap of the coin is relatively small. We are just under 200 million at the time of shooting, and the current volume is just around 22 million. So not that big of a project with obviously a lot of potential for volatility in both directions. And another thing that I really like is that their max supply is almost equal to the total supply. It seems like this is not one of the projects that still have a lot of tokens to be unlocked. However, these are most of the good news about this project that I found out while I was researching. However, the bad news I think are quite significant, and we need to take a look at them very deeply, because the first one I want to mention is the tokenomics. There's no sign of clear tokenomics for this project. I even went down the rabbit hole to check on their Discord, And there has been in the past a lot of people asking about the tokenomics of this project, and nobody has had a good answer. Even in their chat channel, SOS support, there has been no answer to this. And even just recently, anyone asking about a link for the tokenomics has had only crickets, so no response whatsoever. And that, in my opinion, is a very bad sign, especially for a project that wants to have long-term success. Even if you don't have tokenomics, that's fine, but just get out there and say something about it. Why don't you have the tokenomics? I think that's very crucial. The only information that I could find here is on their kind of a white paper. And here, as of October 2022, there were around 189 million circulating supply, which kind of corresponds to the latest numbers right here that we see on CoinMarketCap. And also there's a little note that they have around 5.5% inflation per year, which is not the best inflation I've seen, but it's also not the worst. But definitely the worst thing is that they don't have the tokenomics. Even with such good documentation and with such big following on Twitter and a lot of information and a lot of hype about the volumes that they are making and so on. And to make this even worse, they do have a dashboard. Even on their website, there's a tab called Analytics, and you can go and check their analytics. However, the latest data here on this dashboard ends in September 2022, and there's no more information about this project from that point on. I will show you a little bit later. I could find a little bit more recent data. But if this is your official stats and if you don't have official information about the volumes that you're making and the active users, that's a really bad sign about management. And another bad sign is that they don't really do any updates in their community. And if we go to the announcement channel here on their dashboard, you'll see that the last one was from December last year, which has been already a few months. There has been plenty of development in this project and still no update from the community. And the final thing that I don't really like is that there's no other application, at least for now, of their token except for governance. There has been some mentions here in their white paper that it's used for paying fees on their network. However, I haven't seen this in practice and it hasn't been really clear, so I would kind of disregard it at this moment, even if it's true. I personally like owning projects that have more than one application of their token and more than just governance, because let's be realistic, how many people will really use their tokens to vote on stuff? People mostly speculate, and that's actually what I'm also planning to do with this project. Although I don't really like how they look, although there's a lot of red flags on the project itself, I don't want to get fundamental on this one, and let me tell you why. First of all, let's look at Token Terminal here. It's a very powerful website. If you don't know it, just write it down. I use it all the time and it has a lot of information. Even the most recent information about Synapse volumes and daily active users, which they don't have on their official website, obviously. If we go to the fees here and revenue section, you'll be able to see that in the past year, it has been steadily increasing. Okay, from the last bull cycle, it's still not up to these levels. As you can see here, in the past several months, the volume has been increasing and seems like this is a healthy increase. Let me just zoom here so you can see it a little bit better. The volumes themselves are not that crazy, so 28-30,000 per day is not that much, but we can go also and check how they do it compared with their competitors. And if I add here Stargate, which I believe is their biggest competitor, and we compare the fees that they have collected in the last year, we'll be able to see that actually Synapse is doing quite much better compared to Stargate. And this is, remember, in the depths of a bear market. So if we get a bull run and if we see these numbers keep increasing with the number of layer 2 solutions that are coming out, this could really signal a very interesting trend for Synapse. And another thing that gives me hope is, together with the fees, there are a lot of increases in the daily active users. Here you can see it's versus Stargate, but even if we remove Stargate, you'll see that there's an increasing trend since summer of last year pretty much. And I don't see it slowing down anytime soon. With all of that said, this is the chart of Synapse, and as you can see, there's not much price history, but it's just enough to see this beautiful accumulation pattern that we have right here. The bottom looks like it's right now at 46 cents, and the major level that I will be looking at is around $2. And as you can see here, we're starting to see signs of strength. And if we go to the weekly chart, you'll be able to see that quite a lot of green weeks in a row, which is great. But the main area, as I mentioned, is here around $2. And I think I will count this as the prior lower high, and we really need to break out of this in order to see continuation to the upside. So I'm not planning to jump into this bandwagon very quickly, but I'm more interested in having a clear trade setup. I'm not looking to accumulate just because of all the concerns that I have. But to be honest, I'll also be stupid with this type of pattern to not take advantage if we see a valid setup playing out, especially with all the narratives about cross-chain and bridging and layer 1s and layer 2s. I'm definitely keeping an eye on this project, and I believe you should too. Do your own research. Maybe at some point they will come out with the tokenomics and everything will be a lot better than what it is right now. But even if this doesn't happen, to be honest, once a bull run in crypto starts, nobody will care about tokenomics. That is everything about this video and about this review. If you have any questions, obviously you know how to find me, and I'm gonna see you in the next one.